Hi, welcome, and thank you so much for your initial inquiry about joining us in Team Impact. My name is Karen Wilding. I'm the director and founder here at EYMaths 3 to 7, and I'm here to guide you through some of the options available to you and answer some of the most common questions. So when I began EYMaths, most of the people I worked with were individuals. They were practitioners from all over the world who had heard about the impact of my work and were excited to invest in themselves. What then happened is the senior leaders supporting them, their colleagues, parents, and so forth, noticed the change in the children, noticed the change in the practitioner, in their enthusiasm, in their energy, in their knowledge and passion for teaching maths, and then wanted to come and train all of their staff. So that was the main aim behind Team Impact. It allows you affordably to train your entire staff, have everybody singing from the same hymn sheet, and create consistency across your whole setting or school. So Team Impact has benefited schools all over the world in the most incredible ways. So the best thing I can do is hand you over to some of the people who have worked with us and hear their stories. So if you choose to have a scheme in your school, the only way it's going to work successfully is if your teachers and all your support staff have really good knowledge of how to teach that maths. And that comes from two different sets of skills. First of all, your own maths subject knowledge. It has to be strong and accurate. We have to always check that before we start teaching, and that is not commonplace and never has been, amazingly. And then we also have the pedagogical side, which is how do children learn most effectively? So a scheme, if you think of it, is more like a recipe book, but Team Impact and all the support you receive from myself and the community that you become part of, that's like the cooking course. So a great cook can use a recipe book effectively. One of the mantras that we have, and I feel very passionately about, is we should always aim to be using a scheme and not following a scheme. That means that as the professional, the teacher knows what it is they are aiming for with the children, knows how to make those connections, knows how to bring that maths to life and see its application across the curriculum in every part of a child's life. A scheme won't achieve that on its own. A scheme can, if we let it, be a series of PowerPoints, be a series of activities, and be delivered. And the focus then becomes on covering maths and children doing maths, as opposed to children feeling and thinking and communicating like mathematicians. So we're known as EYMaths 3 to 7, and that is very deliberate because that is some of our very youngest children, often in nurseries or attached provision, right through to 7 years old, which here in England is the end of Key Stage 1. But I need to reiterate that this training is about investing in your teachers, investing in the educators in your school. So it is not about the age group we teach, it is about about what the practitioner knows, and particularly with subject knowledge. You don't need different subject knowledge to teach younger children. When we look at geometry, when we look at number sense, the subject knowledge we need is the same regardless of the age group we teach. We're talking right through the whole of primary and secondary and into further education and adulthood. Pedagogically, that's when it is very different. So we need to look at what's appropriate for young children and the way young children's brains process things. But this training needs to be seen as the most consistent way to support provision throughout your school. There's no point in investing in the teachers of your younger children and radically changing the way that maths is taught, which is what my support will give you, and radically changing the impact and the outcome you're seeing. And then that's stopping because the next teacher in a child's journey doesn't have those tools in their toolbox. It just doesn't make sense. And we need to stop thinking about practitioners teaching younger children as a different stage of mathematics. It's all the same journey. And what happens when children are or at the youngest part of school or their provision is we're building the wider, strongest foundations. Everything that goes beyond that is sharpening those tools. They meet every single concept they will ever need, including things like algebra and fractions, when they are very young. And we will only understand that if we have the subject knowledge to inform us and make sure our own understanding is as good as it needs to be. So Team Impact could not be easier for you to use. It is accessed through a library. You will and your colleagues will log in through the EYMaths website. We will give you the opportunity just to set up. It's simply an email and a password, and every single member that you invest in will have their own access to the library. That means you can train together whenever you wish, and you can have me on the screen like this as if I'm with you. You can pause it, you can rewind it, you can revisit it, and staff can also revisit and watch modules together. So what I'm going to show you is an overview of what it looks like when you log in and what you see. We have a wider library, and then we also have a very special Team Impact space for you to go into, which will guide you step by step through the process and make sure you never feel lost and you don't miss anything. And then I'm also going to show you specifically our game-changing course, which is known as the Teaching Essential Number Sense course. This is something that whichever level of Team Impact you decide is best for you, it is central to that offer, that access that you will get. So the TENS course, for short, Teaching Essential Number Sense, is what all of the people who ever work with us tell us has changed their practice the most. And it has the power to radically alter the performance of your children, the enthusiasm of your children, and the passion with which your teachers teach right through your whole school. So I'm going to show you how easy it is to log in to your library as a Team Impact member. This is the EYMaths website. We go to log in, you pop your address, email address and password in there. And this is what we would call your main library. And within that, there are sections. So imagine you're walking into a real life building, and these are places that you can go depending on what you want. So I'm going to show you here, depending on the level that you select, we have a gold and silver library here, and then we have the bronze library. So if you're a gold and silver member, you're going to have this. You're going to have the Foundation Number Sense course, the Teaching Essential Number Sense course, the Essential Foundations course. Lots of very similar words, as you can hear, the EYMaths Essentials. And then page 2, you have got our termly challenges. There's 2 there, and there's a third one down here. And you have got the obstacle course and Maths Through Stories 1 and 2. If you choose bronze, here's your bronze library. You will also get the Foundation Number Sense course, the TENS course, this Essential Foundations, Essentials, and the 3 challenges, but not the Math Through Stories or the obstacle course, and your library content will be slightly different. So what I'm going to do here is just dive into Team Impact Bronze. And what I have done is created sections for you because our aim is to help you solve the problem that maths is not being taught by practitioners with strong subject knowledge. And it's not being taught in a way that seeks to make connections and make sure that maths is this living, breathing subject. So everything we give you is to give your practitioners those tools so they are confident, they are able to use rather than follow a scheme or to plan mathematics themselves. So here we've got some important things to get you started here, to give you a sense of what's coming, make sure you don't get overwhelmed. Then we have what's known as the Foundation Number Sense course. So this directs you back out of this bronze library to this course here. And when I click on here, don't forget all levels have access to this. You have got a step-by-step, it's like a mini course, these little videos taking you through the essentials of learning about what number sense is. It's a really enjoyable course to launch your journey. Then if I go back into that library, step 3 is studying our self-registration training. That is so game-changing. I can't begin to tell you. Everyone loves it, and the impact on the children is instant. Also, we've got a time webinar. So looking at really dramatically changing how you think about time and the best way to teach it, looking at calendars, looking at daily routines, looking at ways of giving the children ownership, and also bringing in a huge amount of subitizing into that as well, using calendars. Step 4, we move into the monster in a lovely way that is the tens course. So the Teaching Essential Number Sense course. And again, you move into your outer library here. And here is the Teaching Essential Number Sense course, 5 modules. We have scientists and subitizers all broken up into little bite-sized pieces. We have a resources section as well and an assessment section. So with your team, you can go through and assess. Here, you're going to have some questions to make sure you're really absorbing things. And many schools, as you can see here, get their team to feedback about what they've learned from that module underneath. And you can read what other people have said, which is really inspiring and supportive. We've got counting and subitizing. Again, resources as an assessment, moving towards the abstract, looking at 5 and 10 frames. Then we've got early calculation and teaching base 10 and unitizing, which is the foundations of multiplication and division. Module 5 is our latest edition. So when you've secured your practitioner's knowledge of what needs to happen with our 3 to 5-year-olds or our 0 to 5-year-olds, what we've got here is what happens when we move from 5 to 7. And I've put a lot of resources in here and show how it builds on. So this is for all of your practitioners to look at, rather than thinking that your teachers of 3 to 5-year-olds only need modules 1 to 4. This is about everyone understanding the progress and the journey involved. So you can find out a little bit more about that course by simply going back to the EYMaths website. If you click on Learn With Us, we have got Study the Tens course here, and you can have a look through. This is a whole page devoted to it. There's a video there. There's some advice about using schemes, some feedback. And then if we scoot down here, we have got a little bit more detail about those modules that I've just shown you there. Okay, so I'm back in the bronze impact library here, as you can see. So you've got down to the Study the Tens course, that the real biggie. And then we have step 5, which is looking at the importance of subject knowledge that flows through everything. So focused in on shape here and the conversation that we need to have about having a 2D shape drawer. You can have it, but it can't have anything in it. Then we have some additional number sense training videos here for you. We've got some planning support as well. And there are resources here with trajectories, downloadable 5 and 10 frames, etc. If I then go into the silver and gold Team Impact Library, You can see it's laid out slightly differently because it's got so much more in it. So you have an introduction there, and we have the teaching time, building number sense and so forth. But this is step one. So it follows the same format, but we've got the maths everywhere, every day first. We've then got the teaching essential number sense next. And within that, you have got that foundation number sense course, which was the taster getting into number sense that I showed you that's in your main library. And we've also got the teaching essential number sense course there, and you can shrink these down whenever you want. Then step 3, we have got some more videos to help you develop your number sense skills. Step 4, looking at teaching shape, the subject knowledge. So you can see this follows the same format so far as bronze. Then we have something slightly different. We have got, if you're silver or gold, you've got a whole section on planning and the format that I would recommend that you use for medium-term planning. We have got what we call our mini maths adventures, which is where we take all the skills and knowledge that we've got and we apply them in different areas such as time, as you can see, shape, first, then, and now, sometimes contextual things like autumn. And then we have this optional library here for you to dip in and out of. Remember, think of it like a physical building, like a real library. So you might walk into the time section in the library. So that's videos to help you understand how to teach time. We've got a big section there on planning. Some of those are reproduced above there. We've got lots on shape. We've got things on measure, as you can see, spatial reasoning. We have 4 mapping sessions and really, really enjoyed running that with everyone. And again, here, 4 sessions on teaching pattern and so forth. There is so much support in here for you. One of my favorite areas is documentation, and that will dramatically change how you support your team and how you share what you do with inspectors and parents and get the children far more involved in talking about their work. So you have a lot. Let's go back to that main library. And you can see, so if you choose bronze, you'd have this one. If you choose silver or gold, you'd have this one. And there's also a leader version as well to support those of you who will be putting together the training and planning when that's going to happen. But it really is a case of come in and have a look around when you first start. It is totally transformational. And the people who work with us, the people I am lucky enough to have trained with for the last 5 years, tell me that their library is one of the things that they hold most dear and value the most about working with us. So the time investment is a really important question. You will get 12 months access, and if you decide to stay with us, we also offer you a discount on your next year's subscription. But the important thing is you view it as you would as if I was coming in person. So you properly identify that time in your calendar, and little and often works really well. What won't work is buying into Team Impact and giving it to your staff and leaving them to do it for themselves. It is so important that you plan this and you have a designated leader. I've got a special part of the library for leaders to support you, and I'm here to support you anytime you need extra additional information or you've got questions. But the most successful schools and settings put aside the time to look at this regularly and are very, very clear about the expectation of what's going to be watched, what's going to be actioned. So I will also show you some of the most successful schools and settings who have clearly used the comment section below the videos to get their staff to reflect. So that way as well, it's very visible. You could do it in a more anonymous way if you wish to, in a more confidential way. But this idea that you see what other people say, and there's that accountability, which is hugely important. When it comes to things like the TENS course, the modules are listed for how long they are. You can go and have a look at that on the website. I'll put a link below. And Generally, I would look at least doubling the time that it said. So most of the modules are around an hour and a half. The fifth module is longer, but it's about the ability to watch, pause, rewatch, take action. And those people, you'll see many people come back and watch it again. And that is the beauty of you having it in your library all the time. So I want to make sure you can access things in the way that will best suit you. So we have bronze, silver, and gold. Each of those levels of access have the TENS course, that Teaching Essential Number Sense course at its center. And you will find the initial parts of your library are all the same. So I take you on a carefully curated journey to let staff get moving and get a feel for the power of what we're learning together. Then the difference between silver and bronze is you get access to a much more extensive library. So you then have what we call the vault with areas that will cover every aspect of maths and more that you can then dip into. So you've got your step by step and then this huge vault. You will also, as the leader, be invited to join what's called my impact community and my impact membership, where you will get live training opportunities with me monthly, the opportunity to come and have a cuppa with me weekly, virtually. And I'm always available to answer questions. The difference between gold and silver is it's the same content as silver, but you get 2 bespoke live sessions included with me. And they generally are an hour to an hour and a half. And I can respond directly to questions you've got. I can model teaching, and I can also help with that external motivation of making sure everybody is on the same page and moving. Some schools and settings use one of those sessions as a launch session, and some use it and plan it throughout the year. And you can always buy additional sessions as well as bolt-ons, so that again, just to keep that motivation if you wish, and I can come and lead sessions on training days and whatever is going to help you maximize this opportunity. We will send you details of the financial investment, but the most important thing to know is what you are getting access to, because you're joining as a team, saves you up to 80% of the cost if you did it as an individual. So one example is that just 4 months access to the TENS course is £199 for anyone not in Team Impact. And you will have that for each member of your team, not for 4 months, but for 3 times longer for a whole year. So on its own, that is going to be worth far more than the amount you're going to be investing per person. And the great news is we actively encourage you to join together with others. So if you're a childminder, you could join together with other childminders. If you're a school, join together with another local school. If you're a school within a multi-academy trust or an organization, you can buy places for your staff as one, and then you don't need to run the training together. You can go off and run it in your own way, but you maximize the opportunities and all the benefits of the more people you invest in, the cheaper per person it is. So it is the most incredibly cost-effective way of working with me. And particularly if you compare it with 1 day's live training from a consultant like myself, compared to what you're going to get for 365 days, it is incomparable. And the impact is massive. Unlike this, where it may be a brilliant day, but the follow-up is what matters. And the follow-up is often completely missing. So I hope that has given you an overview of what we do. What I offer you in Team Impact is completely unique. It is unlike anything else that I have seen out there, and the impact on practitioners' passion, practitioners' knowledge, and therefore the way they then teach mathematics, the way they listen to their children, the confidence they have to make connections across the curriculum, the confidence they have to back off and make sure that they are not overly teaching their children without listening to what the children are saying and accurately assessing where the children are at. So any more information, that we can give you at this stage, let us know. And we really look forward to welcoming you. It is going to change you and your school or your setting forever.